This is the plaintiff, Jessica Hunter. She says she and the defendant lived together as roommates for a brief time, and it was downright nightmarish from the get-go. Police officers were called. There was drama. Monies are owed, and you get the picture. Bottom line, she's owed $2,033, and she's suing for just that amount today. Thank you very much. This is the defendant, Varian Gatewood. He says there was a leak in the apartment. His very expensive guitar was ruined, and since he plays for a living, his livelihood is at stake. Bottom line, the plaintiff is in cahoots with the landlord, and if anyone's owed a large sum of money, it's him. He's accused of not participating. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $4,500 for his missed gigs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff and the defendant were roommates. It got so bad, the cops were called. But the defendant is blaming the plaintiff for the leak that destroyed his guitar. It's the case of strings attached.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
Jessica Hunter.
Yes.
You are suing your former roommate, Varian Gatewood.
Yes.
For $2,033 that you say he owes you. And you want him to pay, and he won't. You got a counterclaim against her for $4,500 in missed gigs that you say are her fault. All right, talk to me. What's going on?
Okay, so from the beginning, I have an apartment in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and I posted on Craigslist. I have a roommate who lives there with me, and he has to leave because of work reasons. So my guy, he moves in with me.
Who's my guy? Your boyfriend?
Yeah, my boyfriend.
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
He moves in, and he's going to stay there just for a couple of months while he finds a place. So I still need to find another roommate. So I post on Craigslist an ad, basically saying,
Is he still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically saying the first couple of months are going to be $433, but then after that it's going to be split evenly $650 because our rent overall is $1,300. So basically what happens after that, Varian moves in on
How do you meet him? Through Craigslist?
Through Craigslist. And
Okay.
I set up interviews, and basically people come by, sort of talk to them, but still we have a very informal agreement. There's no paperwork signed. Basically it's understood that it's a month to month, but if you're going to leave, give me as much notice as you possibly can, at least a month.
You should always get it in writing anyway, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
you should. But what happens is Varian moves in, everything is fine.
What did you like about him that made you want to be roommates with him, or housemates with him, as opposed to somebody else?
He's a musician, which is cool, you know. He supposedly plays for all of these people that I enjoy, you know, that are good artists. And then what goes wrong is before the whole rent situation happens, he's really, really gross, and there's lies, just constant lies
What
about
makes him gross?
everything.
I'm sorry.
His room had like a stench, like an odor. It was filthy. One day he came into my room and was like, "Hey, have you seen my baby wipes?" And I was like, "What, baby wipes?" And he was like, "Yeah, I need to like wipe off or something like that." And I really literally responded with like, "Are you kidding me? Did you really just ask me for like baby wipes?" And he's like, "Yeah, you don't wipe off with blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "No, I shower and babies use baby wipes." So never hear him like shower or anything like that. He's supposed to smoke in his room or outside. There's cigarette butts all over the house.
Does it get better?
No, it doesn't
All right,
get better.
now tell me about the guitar. What happened?
So what happens with the guitar is it's mid-March, and he's been living there for, I guess, about a month and a half. He basically has a leak in his ceiling. Now, he tells me that there's a leak, and
The ceiling of his room or the ceiling of his
closet? Yes,
Okay.
of his closet. He tells me there's a leak in the roof of the ceiling of his closet, and to contact the landlord, Arlene. So I contact the landlord.
Had he ever had any dealings with Arlene at this point?
No.
He gives you the money for the rent, and then
Yes,
you
and then I pay the rent. Right.
All right, so go ahead.
So the leak starts at the beginning of the week of Passover. Arlene is very religious. I can't even contact her on Saturdays, no matter what it is. And I let him know this. I'm like, okay, so just like remove everything from the closet was the first thing that I told him. So the ceiling it comes in. So he leaves everything in the closet, and then the water and everything, it does come through. I call her and tell her at this time, hey, like it's, you know, an emergency, like please call me. Still, she's on Passover, calls me once Easter's over. Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? What do you need me to do? I tell her exactly what happened. The next day it was fixed, primed, and then the fixing guy came back the next day and primed it and everything like that.
All right, let me just hold on and I'll get back to you. Did you know there was a problem in the closet?
Well, yeah, I pretty much let Jessica know that there was a small leak, and it started leaking on some of my things that I had in my closet.
How much is your guitar worth?
Well, I bought it for $4,500.
What kind of guitar is it?
It is a 4-string custom Epiphone bass. It's a bass guitar.
So why was it in your closet if there was a small leak? Why would you put your most expensive piece of property right there under the leak?
That weekend, it wasn't. It actually wasn't right under the leak. The leak was leaking. It's a fairly large closet.
Apparently not. Right?
Well, the way
There's a problem in the closet. Why wouldn't you put the guitar somewhere other than the closet? I don't get it.
Well, in my defense, I pretty much went on a trip that weekend. I went to South Jersey.
Okay, couldn't you leave the guitar in your bed?
I put it in my closet before I left.
Right, the closet has a leak, so why didn't you move it out of there and put it on the bed or somewhere else?
I should have.
Okay.
All
right.
I should have.
So you leave and the closet caves in, Chicken Little. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not Chicken Little enough.
Yeah.
That's the problem. All right. So then the roof comes in, and then what?
Pretty much. When I came back, I realized that the closet caved in and it destroyed the whole base.
Okay. Did it destroy anything else?
Just some suits, just clothing, pretty much.
Do you have pictures of the damage that did?
Yes, I did. Yes,
May I see the pictures? All right. So then at this point, do you start dealing directly with the property owner, or do you deal with Jessica?
I was still dealing with Jessica until Arlene, which is her landlord, until we actually got in contact, until I said I wasn't going to pay rent until I was recouped for the damage.
So you talk to Arlene and say, hey, this is serious now. We've got to take care of this right away. It gets taken care of. And then when does now rent's due?
Now rent's due.
And it's when? What month are we in now?
It's now May, the beginning of May.
And so he doesn't want to, I assume you wouldn't pay the rent because nobody paid for your guitar yet.
Right. No, actually, my guitar was taken. I had to take it myself to get fixed because I had to get
and so do you have a receipt for what you paid to fix the guitar?
Actually, I don't have the receipt, but I do have a letter from Guitar Center to myself and pretty much stating how much it would be.
Right, that's an estimate. Did you get the guitar fixed?
Yes.
Okay, so that means now you would have a receipt for paying for the guitar.
Yeah, I don't. I lost between the time. I really don't have the receipt.
How'd you pay?
I paid cash.
You walked around with $1,900 cash to pay Guitar Center?
No, I went to the bank once they told me exactly how much it was going to be.
And you can't ask them to print out a receipt for the transaction?
If I would have had more time to prepare, yes, I could have.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
If I had 2 wheels, I'd be a bicycle.
Listen.
All right, this is from Guitar Center?
Yes.
May I say
Why
something?
is it look so weird? First of all, it's not signed by anybody. Second of all, it gives no name. Third of all, the logo is not focused. That kind of stuff worries me.
No, that's just the way it was printed out.
All right, well, let me ask you a question. Once you pay for the guitar and you get it fixed, all right, now it's May and he hasn't paid rent.
Right.
Because nobody's reimbursed him for the guitar.
Right.
You haven't reimbursed him even though you're his landlord.
Right.
You realize that, right? You're the landlord.
Yes.
All right, and you haven't reimbursed him because the landlord has not reimbursed you.
Right.
So how does this end up getting resolved between rent and this repair bill and everything else?
So what happens is I tell him that he needs to get a receipt, go get it appraised, bring back a receipt. He doesn't pay the rent. And on top of all these other things, I know he's lying. It's just like, why am I going to pay you back if you can't even produce a receipt for me?
So what happened?
He's not. So basically what happens is, I tell him he has to go. I go into his room because I think he's leaving with the key to get some of my things out. He has my iPod radio in there, of course, a bunch of my dishes, a bunch of my things because he just has a bunch of my things in there. Get that out. So then he comes in the house, freaks out, immediately goes and gets 4 police officers. Excessive. 4 police officers, brings them back. I'm eating an omelet, watching a movie. 4 police officers come in the house. That's when I learned about squatters' rights. Hey man, have you...
Why, you brought police officers into the situation because...
Because I locked my door and because we weren't on speaking... Yeah, she broke in the door.
Was anything missing?
No, there was nothing missing.
So because somebody went in your room, man, you're picky about your room, man. You just do not want...
The way it was,
4 cops come in and then the 4 cops tell her you can't go in his room.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Now you're waiting to see what's going on. You want your guitar paid for. You haven't paid rent. And what is the next thing that happens to you?
Pretty much, she changes the locks. Did
you change the locks after the police?
I was wrong. I did.
Yeah, but it was after the police told you you can't go in his room. After they told me everything.
And I sent him an email nicely saying, it was
when
wrong.
did you change the locks to the apartment?
After that.
How much after?
On Monday. Because I still said.
How many days later? After
this was 3, and I still said
3 days later. All right, so then you get to the apartment. Your key doesn't work. You call the police.
Yeah.
There, I get it. And the police come and they knock on the door. Is she in there?
Not the very first time.
How do you get in?
I couldn't.
Okay.
That's when I first really found out.
And that was what day?
That was on that Monday, the 16th, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
16th
the 19th. I'm sorry, the 19th of April.
19th of what?
April.
Okay, so the locks have been changed. And then when do you get in?
That was later on that night.
All right, you get in that night.
Pretty much the police came.
What time did you get in?
This was about, I think, 10.
10 o'clock at night.
At 10 o'clock at night.
And so you're there with the police, she's there, and that's how you get in.
Yeah. During that time, pretty much I missed one of my gigs. I came in to get my bass.
When was the gig?
The gig was that night. I play every Monday night at the same gig, and pretty much I missed it because I was supposed to be there at 9:30 to 10 o'clock.
And that's the essence of your counterclaim against her, except for that you say you missed 2 gigs.
Yes, I did miss another one at a later date.
Why?
I was actually on the, say it again?
She locked you out again?
No, she never provided me with the key, even after being told by the police that you have to give him a key. And
why didn't you just take your guitar with you if you didn't have a means to get back in there?
No, but I'm not going to carry my guitar everywhere I go, every time I leave the apartment.
How did you leave without a key then? How did you get back in there to sleep?
The police, every time I came in, the police had to come in and have them open the door.
I don't understand. How did the police not stand there and watch her give you a key?
They did. They not one time.
How did this happen with the police that you didn't give him a key? Well, when the police tell you you have no right to do that, it's illegal, it's even a misdemeanor in your state.
Right.
Okay? When they say that, how come you don't hand him a key?
We were supposed to give him a key. Steve meant to go to Home Depot and give him a key. It didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't happen.
How did he get in from the 19th until the day what day did you vacate?
I vacated on, it was just about 2 weeks after that.
For 2 weeks? How did
it wasn't 2 weeks. It was a week.
Okay.
For a week, how did he get in and
the
go
door was
sleep?
Unlocked.
They left the top door unlocked.
And the door was just unlocked because
so how is it you couldn't get in to get the guitar for the second gig?
On the second gig that day, the door was locked.
So if somebody is responsible for a leak in your closet, but you leave your guitar there, is it tough luck if your guitar gets ruined? What do you think?
Yes, it's tough luck.
Why?
Because the leak should be noticed by anybody, especially the landlord. And if he doesn't fix it, he should get hit with the guitar over the head.
You just took 2 different positions in one sentence. That was really good. What do you think? What do you think?
I think he shouldn't have left his guitar in there.
So tough luck for him.
Yeah.
Tough luck.
Tough luck?
Very tough luck.
Very tough luck going inside the courtroom.
Did you lock accidentally the door and
no,
lock
he left it open for sure, for certain every time because he'd worked out.
Do you have proof on your counterclaim of missing $4,500 worth of payment?
Well, I actually looked up the law, and it says actually consulted a lawyer, and he said that I can sue for triple the damage.
Okay, do you have proof of missing $1,500 worth of damage?
Yes, I do.
May I see it? Now, there is a deal that is apparently struck with Arlene.
Yes, ma'am.
And the deal is that she's going to pay you $1,200, and that's going to handle the rent issue. Actually, let's backtrack a second. You filed a case in housing court against her because she's your landlord. And your case in housing court was for the repair of the guitar.
The illegal eviction.
Now, he ends up striking a deal with the property owner. So now I have in my possession the agreement between your property owner, your landlord, and him, where it says you get out, we're dropping all claims against each other, you're dropping the case against Jessica in housing court, and I'm paying you $1,200.
Right.
All right? Why are you here? You are suing for what? Here you say you're suing for $1,200 a bass guitar. That's the $1,200 Arlene paid him. You and your landlord can't get together, say, okay, what do you want to get out? Okay, good, you get out, here's $1,200, and then say, gotcha, never mind, I want to sue in court and get it back. You can't do that.
No, that's definitely not.
That's exactly what you're doing. What's the $1,200 for? Bass guitar, $1,200.
The $1,200 is because the terms for the agreement were he needed to have everything out and produce a legitimate receipt. Those were the terms for the agreement.
No, they're not. Tenant hereby surrenders the premises, delivers key. Security deposit stays with landlord. In consideration for him leaving, I'm giving him $1,200. That's what this says. Where here does it say that there's something in the future for him to do, produce receipts? Where is that?
No.
That's nowhere.
It's on the one that he signed before. That's in.
I don't care about the one he signed before. I care about the one that got him out.
To my understanding,
your understanding's wrong. Dead wrong. You're done.
Okay.
What else are you suing for? That's the $1,200. $433 in rent when that was also settled here. $100 change of locks fee. Okay, now
Yeah,
you're
she's trying to
making me laugh. Hold on. You change the locks, which you have no right to do, but you want him to pay for it?
No,
The cops have told you had no right to do. I've told you had no right to do, but you want him to pay you $100?
I didn't change. This is afterward, after the agreement has been made. The $1,200 is for okay, the rent was not included in the $1,200.
You are wrong. You are not listening to me. I am going to read to you now what the agreement he and the landlord entered into says. Okay? We release each other of all claims to date. Item number 8. That means she can't sue him. Listen, folks, this is what a settlement is. A settlement is where it's done. See, it's over. It's settled. Now, what is it you'd like to tell me that takes your situation out of this?
I mean, do you want to,
Yeah,
or should I just,
Take a shot.
We're suing him because he knows that he has falsified documentation. He puts us under a gun. He puts us in threat.
You're not under a gun. It's simple. You're in the same position any other landlord's in. Your tenant isn't doing what they're supposed to do. You take it to court and fight it. But when you say to somebody, I'll tell you what, let's settle this. We're going to do this and you're going to do that. And they do that. Okay. You can't then take back this. You're done and there's nothing else to discuss on that.
I have a question.
The only thing that is left is to discuss his counterclaim. Okay? Go back into your handy dandy Apple and show me how you're out $1,500. Do you have it or don't you? Because my patience has run thin. Okay, well then that is exactly what you're getting me, 0. That's what you're going to get. On your counterclaim against them, 0. And on your claim against him, 0, because this case is already settled and you cannot, and Arlene cannot collect from you what she couldn't get back from him just because now he's out and we got our part of things. That's not how it works. My verdict in this case on your lawsuit against him is for the defendant.
So there's nothing to the plaintiff on their suit, nothing to the defendant on the countersuit, and that's where it stands. Is that the end of this matter?
I guess that's the end. Sounds like that's the end.
When he first showed up, you thought that was going to be a pretty good housemate, right? What did you like about him at the beginning? The guitar stuff?
He seemed cool. He played an instrument, you know.
What was your first clue that things weren't going to work out?
The lies and the disgustingness. Excessive.
The
disgustingness. Yes.
What, his room smell? He asked you for wipes? That's not so bad.
No, that's disgusting. Come on.
Wipes?
For babies. Babies use those.
That's what really put you off, the wipes thing?
Or the odor, or not flushing the toilet after you use it, those sorts of things.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You head right down around the corner there. Let's see what he has to say. But she said, well, you didn't win anything either. Well, how come you couldn't produce the evidence there? She asked you 20 times.
I couldn't get a Wi-Fi signal. And that just messed me up. I should have prepared it beforehand.
That would have been a good idea. What about all these claims that
she came on here trying to slander my name, and it pretty much ruled for me. She didn't get anything. I didn't get anything. Mm-hmm. She can't take me back to court anymore.
So the guitar working now? You back doing your gigs?
I'm still playing, doing what I
got a gig tonight?
Actually, yes, I do.
Over to Harvey.
Short story, when you settle a case, you have one bite of the apple. You can't turn around later and say, the settlement wasn't fair. Once you settle, it's over. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.